Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So who orange-pilled Kanye? Did you guys see this photo? Check out that hat. Satoshi Nakamoto. Kanye West has been in the news as of late because of the big JP Morgan story. JP Morgan closed down Kanye West's accounts, likely because of socio-political issues. Not for any real reason, not because he did anything illegal. He was talking about it in this interview here, and I'm not going to play it for copyright reasons. But essentially, I will leave it in the description for you guys if you want to play it. Kanye West speaks out after getting debanked. This coming from Benny Johnson on Twitter. This was a quote. I put $140 million into JP Morgan. Now, $140 million is not a typical amount that any Joe Blow can just park into a bank account. He is definitely at the top 1% of JP Morgan's clients. And they said to him, I put $140 million into JP Morgan and they treated me like crap. So he says, and this is interesting, if JP Morgan is treating me like that, how are they treating the rest of y'all? The guy who was interviewing him was also saying, yeah, and you didn't do anything illegal. And Kanye's like, no, I didn't break any laws. And then somebody also said something about him hanging out with Candace Owens and how that was frowned upon. So definitely not something that they're doing based in any kind of logical reason. It's a political move. Obviously Kanye, or at least it seems as though to them, it seems that Kanye is a threat to them. Now we've got Kanye West with the Satoshi Nakamoto hat. Who knows where his money is going to go next? All very interesting considering what we've been talking about with regards to crypto regulation in the United States. Just this morning, I did a video where Kevin O'Leary was talking about how $1 trillion is essentially waiting on the sidelines just to get into Bitcoin only, Bitcoin specifically. And if you guys didn't catch this morning's video, I will link it here, up here in the top right-hand corner for you. I'm also going to link this clip, guys. It's only 37 seconds long if you want to watch that. We also saw this from overnight, okay, at Manifest963 here on Twitter, 11:59 p.m., close to the biggest event ever. Now, this is Greg Mannarino. Greg Mannarino has been active in the XRP community. He is an investor. He is an economist. And here's what he's saying about the financial system.
Let's see what that does. Okay, look, unless these institutions, these central banks really want to melt down the financial system like now, like this week, action needs to be taken. I've been telling you this for the longest time. If action is not taken, this is it. This is the moment where this whole thing is going to come down. And forget about a stock market crash, because that would be the result. And it would be the biggest crash of all time. What would really manifest itself from here is a global resource problem on an unprecedented scale, a lockup of the financial system in its entirety. Transactions would stop. No cash from the banks. ATMs don't work. Just done. Credit cards don't work. Debit, just done. Finished. Okay. That's where we're going anyway. But are we at that moment now? I guess we're going to find out.
So a bit of an alarming warning here from Greg Mannarino. We're not there now, but we could be very, very close to getting there. The powers that be obviously want to destroy the system. This is no surprise. We've talked a lot about that on this channel. Now it's a matter of how, where, and when. And the scariest part is it could be imminent. It could take another 3 months. It could take another 12 months. We're at the mercy of these guys. And so, this is why I've constantly been telling you guys, take out cash just in case there is an issue with the banks or debit machines or anything like that. Credit cards, they might go down, and invest in the cryptocurrencies like XRP, like Algorand, XLM, Solana, whatever it is that you think are going to solve a problem utilizing blockchain technology in the coming years. And so, this is kind of my cheat sheet. The June 2021 document, Cryptocurrencies, A Guide to Getting Started, put out specifically by the World Economic Forum. At this point in time, they outlined some cryptocurrencies that they saw as being the future for finance, but not just for finance. Okay, these are blockchains that are in their sites: Algorand, Cardano, Celo, XRP, Solana, and Stellar. These are just 6 that they've outlined in their document. They all solve problems. I mean, you might have an opinion on some. You might have your favorites. You might think some are better than others for certain reasons. The one thing, though, that I find interesting is that this is a paper that the World Economic Forum did put out back in mid-2021. All these coins do solve problems, and to be honest with you, in a spec run, everything is going to go up. So why not invest in coins that also solve problems? That's kind of how I think about it. Anyway, getting back on topic, we could see a decline in the financial system. The scariest part here, outlined by Greg Mannarino, is that we don't know when it's going to happen. Well, We also saw this. IMV here on Twitter posted this. Today there was a conference talking about tokenizing gold. And he tagged me in this, or is it a she? Maybe it's a she. She tagged me in this. Thank you so much for that. A digital drive to reform the $11 trillion global gold market. The World Gold Council has a plan to make trading more liquid, starting with the $500 billion in gold bars beneath London. Critics say they'll meet stiff resistance. So they're looking to tokenize this. Trading on one of the world's oldest markets depends on a network of high security vaults located underneath London. There are this many gold bars, 50,000, each worth $650,000, and they change hands every day. So just kind of giving us a bit of history there. David Tate, who heads the World Gold Council, the main lobby group for miners and metals, thinks it's time for an overhaul. The former investment banker is trying to push through changes he hopes will significantly increase demand, including a database using blockchain technology to keep track of almost every gold bar in the world. Once that's up and running, he says it should be possible to create a digital token backed by physical gold that can be more easily traded. So basically wants to get everything on the blockchain and be able to just trade gold digitally through blockchain technology. Market players gathering for a conference on October the 16th, which was just yesterday, are skeptical the proposed overhaul will get off the ground because previous attempts to make even small changes to the market have fallen flat. So it's going to be up against a lot of resistance. However, they are talking about this. They are discussing this idea, the tokenization of gold. And I'm sure this is not the only venue where this has been discussed. Also, it's very likely that world governments around the world have also discussed how they are going to track gold and trade gold in the coming years. We got to consider the BRICS countries as well, right? Russia wanted to back the ruble by gold, also holds a lot of gold in their reserves. India, China, also part of the BRICS nations. So, this is a really interesting story. Definitely something to be paying attention to. I also say, guys, holding precious metals like gold and silver, probably not a bad idea if we are to face a tumultuous time in the months ahead. Moving along though, India aims to develop SOP procedures for crypto during its G20 presidency. This coming from their finance minister.
Crypto, you asked it as a second question, but that'll also be part of India's thing. And during our engagements, we've heard that already institutions which are associated with the G20 or the World Bank or any other are doing their own assessment and studies of matters related to cryptocurrencies or crypto assets. They could be the FSP, they could be the BIS, they could also be IMF themselves. So we would definitely want to collate all this and do a bit of study and then bring it on to the table of the G20 so that members can discuss it and hopefully arrive at a framework or SOP so that globally countries can have a technology-driven regulatory framework. This is derived from the first assumption that no one single country can effectively handle or regulate crypto in any form. But implicit in this is that we don't want the technology to be disturbed. We want the technology to survive and also be in a position for the fintech and other sectors to benefit from it. But if it is a question of platforms trading on assets which are being created, buying and selling, making profits, and more importantly in all this, are countries in a position to understand the money trade?
All right, so it ends there. Notice, India saying this flat out, okay? Wanting to bring G20 countries into the fold, obviously recognizing that every single country needs to be on board with cryptocurrency regulatory clarity, and there needs to be a general global framework that guides this. India has already been doing their part with regards to cryptocurrency adoption. The US obviously still lagging behind. The rest of the world is almost there, I think. But I think the hardest part, the biggest challenge, is going to be to get everybody on a certain standard, especially when you have countries that do not want to play nice with other countries. And so this is where we're getting this break, right? The BRICS countries on one side, the Western world on the other. There's this world economic reset, global reset, great reset, whatever you want to call it, happening at a high level, global elites throwing their wrench into the plan. It's causing a lot of conflict, I'm sure a lot of butting heads. Which brings me to this, guys, Cafe Crypto here on Twitter, XRP Black Swan. Now, do you remember this logo? This was posted by Archilect. And for those of you guys who do not remember, I did a video on this, a Bearable Guy video, likening these three peaks to this Bearable Guy riddle that was posted in 2019. The three peaks look oddly similar to this. And so it begins. When? Now? What is beginning and when did it begin? Well, if you notice the date that I published this video, guys, March 24th, 2020. Only about 2 weeks after the world locked down because of a widespread beer flu that was ravaging the planet. Remember what was happening for cryptocurrencies at that point in time, bringing up the total crypto market here. Scrolling over, and this is XRP. Let me bring up the total crypto market here. March 2020 was when the world locked down and markets just collapsed, okay? The lowest we saw crypto was on March the 13th, 14th, March the 13th, 2020. Then we noticed this South Korean Civil Defense three-peak logo, the same thing that Archilect now posted in this tweet from just last month. And so to give you guys a bit of context, I'm going to play you guys a little bit of the video I did back in March of 2020. XRP Mammy at XRP_Mammy on Twitter said, "Wow, in BG we trust." For those of you guys who think it's photoshopped, and for those of you guys who are not looking at the screen, remember the three-peak riddle that Bearable Guy posted over a year ago. This was from January 21st, 2019. And I believe that this original three-peak clue was actually from before this because I believe this was a retweet of someone, not an actual retweet, but a reconfirmation of the three-peak riddle. So there is a lot of things in here. There's the three peaks. So it begins, some numbers on top of the letters, a 14 here with the heart. And a lot of people were trying to figure out what these three peaks mean. Well, Mammy, XRP Mammy on Twitter posts this, and it's a photo of who I believe is the Prime Minister of South Korea. Is this him? I know I might get some flack from some South Koreans because I didn't get that right. But for those of you guys who think it's photoshopped, think again. Google South Korea declares war on the beer flu. And by beer flu, I don't mean beer flu. I mean the real term for it. Then go to images, scroll, and you will see president, yes, it is the president of South Korea, wearing this gear. BG123 was warning that the beer flu was going to be the catalyst to get the ball rolling. Global reset time, folks. Isn't it uncanny how similar this is? You guys can see it right here. And, when I first saw it, I thought it was photoshopped as well, but I did just that. I looked up South Korea declares war on the beer flu. And you guys can see there are many photos with this image here of the president of South Korea with that logo on his shirt. So is there something we should know about this? What does this mean? And I'm sure South Koreans are very aware what this means. It took me some research to look into this and what it did mean. This from Quora: why do members of South Korea's cabinet wear this yellow jacket? And so Dan Kim responds, worked in defense R&D banking, currently in asset management, which is quite interesting. And as a sidebar, quite a coincidence that he is in the banking sector, currently in asset management, whoever he is. This from back in 2016. The yellow jacket is the uniform of the Republic of Korea's civil defense. You can buy and own one for $20. And guys, right here is the uniform. Right here, you guys can see the logo on the hat and on the jacket. But let's keep reading here. So Korea has a conscription system for all men. In addition to serving in the military, all able-bodied Korean males must serve in the reserves for 6 years after discharged from the military. And after that, they are required to join the civil defense until they're 40 or 45 in national emergency. This is the uniform they'd wear in the civil defense. In addition, government officials and employees, including the president of Korea, are automatically enlisted in the civil defense regardless of prior experience in the military. During national defense drills, members of civil defense wear the yellow jackets and perform their duties, which includes evacuation of general populace communication, surveillance, and maintain order. Civil defense forces aren't normally armed, but they will be in the event of war. So, civil defense, controlling the crowd, making sure people walk close to the wall on their way to the nearest bomb shelter. And guys, you can see the logo here on the flag as well. The three peaks that many of us couldn't correlate from this image. Now, so Korea Civil Defense, three-peak logo. This is basically who they call in case of emergency. Now we know just geographically, where is South Korea very close to? Well, it's right over here, very close to North Korea, also Russia. and China. And of course, there has been conflict surrounding Russia recently, which I'm not going to really talk about, but I think you guys get the gist. Fojack here, posting this, a Mr. Pool tweet, a dragon, also looking very Asian in ways, from 2020. He tweeted it out again in 2022, and then again here in 2022, a separate time. And then guess what comes out? US braces for China to eclipse Russian cyber threat. This article here, guys, posted just a few days ago, October the 14th. Russia's hybrid war in Ukraine has captured the global cybersecurity community's attention from Moscow's rapid deployment of wiper malware, cyber attacks on critical infrastructure, and warnings from ransomware gangs that they would use all possible resources to strike back at Russia's enemies. But officials in the US and UK are already shifting their focus to what they see as an even greater threat: China. The White House released on Wednesday its national security strategy for 2022, and despite warnings that Russia poses an immediate and persistent threat to international peace and stability, much of the document was devoted to the Biden administration's concern about China. Let's go back to the persistent threat to international peace and stability for a second, because the cyber threats are one thing, could shut down the financial system, but I think more pressing, and the thing I want to focus on, in case of a real emergency. The three peaks from South Korea, originally tweeted out by Archelact on Twitter, and as I was perusing Ian Bids' Twitter page, I came across some more retweets from him with regards to Archelact. A couple here of concerning GIF images. One right there and a second one there, also tweeted out by Archelact, the same Twitter handle that tweeted this out. And I'm sorry, I said that this was last month. This was from back in 2021. But I mean, they were right on the money. The Black Swan event that happened in mid-March 2020 did set the wheels in motion. The economy collapsed, and we know what has happened since then. The three peaks, the Bearablelguy riddle, the geographical location of South Korea in and amongst Russia and China. Then there was the Mr. Pool tweets pointing to this article that was just posted a few days ago on October the 14th. China, Russia, cybersecurity, and perhaps something even more concerning: how close are we to a new financial reset of a global system? So hodl at XRP, guys. It may become even more valuable than even we can imagine. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.